Coffee trees and bean farms dot the hills of the Nazawesh Reserve in Central Colombia, but less than 2 decades ago they were the backdrop to deadly battles between tribe members and the rebels FARC.
A veces estaba uno descansando en la casa cuando
I remember being at home, resting with my family, when I'd hear the gunfights breaking out, and having to flee at any hour of the night to hide in a safe place until morning.
The reserve sits just a few hours from the birthplace of the FARC. The hostility between them goes back to the origin of the rebels. In the 1960s, the Colombian military armed the NASA and convinced them to form self-defense units. But after decades of violence, the tribe grew wary.
Nobody worked anymore. The fields lay empty, people feared being killed or were seeking revenge for their family.
Ovidio Paya, former NASA governor, says some leaders started clandestine meetings with the FARC, hiding them from the military and even from many of the tribe's members.
We understood this wasn't our fight, it was the state's obligation and the armed forces, and that we had been cheated. That gave us the courage to act.
After 2 years of negotiations in 1996, a peace agreement was signed. The main points of the deal were simple. The FARC promised to stop killing, recruiting and planting landmines in the territory. In exchange, the NASA said they would give up their weapons and also stop assisting the military. In time, the deal saved hundreds of lives. People returned to farming, and foreign investments brought better roads and a school. Hundreds of lives were saved. The mayor of the nearby town of Gaitania says the benefits spread beyond the Indigenous reserve. Violence level fell, even if the legacy of war remained.
Even in such difficult circumstances, this deal shows that with the people's will, conflicts can be solved by dialogue and compromise. This can be an example for Colombia as a whole.
The NASA Pact is a modest one, covering only 3,000 people, but it shows to the rest of the country that peace is possible even between bitter enemies. Alessandro Rampietti, Al Jazeera, Nazawesh, Indigenous Reserve.